Welcome to Alien Addict on this fine Sunday. As ever, I'm one of your hosts, Lee Stevens. Before I bring everybody else on, I'd like to remind you that the merchandise we have for sale will be disappearing very shortly. Ollie is going to make some new stuff for us, and you're all going to have to go and buy it, and that's great. So if you want to keep your collection of Alien Addict t-shirts up, I suggest you buy the t-shirts that are missing now. Also, whatever platform you're on, I want you to do the liking, the sharing, and stuff like that. Sharing really helps. If you're listening on audio, it's really important that you give the show a 5-star review. We have faced, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say censorship, but I'm going to say we've definitely been having interesting things happen with our YouTube numbers, especially on some of the shows that we're pretty sure should have done better than they did do. The only real safe places for content like this is Rumble and audio podcasts. The best way you can support the show is by listening on audio, and then you don't have to do anything. You can just listen to us on the audio show, and you don't have to do anything. Ollie, you've just jumped in, and your mic's muted because you're a retard.
There we go. And also, if you do want to support the show further and you want to get your question to the top trumps, you can super chat. There you go. Touch my nipples.
So right, we've got some more guests hopefully joining us throughout the show. We'll bring in Matt and Josh from the Josh and Artemis show to start with. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Great.
Real good. Good to see you again.
Thanks awesome. So much for having us back on the show, guys. It's been a long time, so it's nice to be back with you.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the
stuff you've been doing lately on your channel, I think, right down the aisle of what we're going to be talking about tonight. And I take it everybody watched the Olympics opening ceremony. And I mean, it's a fucking bizarre thing. I had planned on all of us watching the opening ceremony and doing like some sort of dissection. Unfortunately, we can't do that because this completely innocent and perfectly fine opening ceremony that they'd fashioned has been taken off the Olympics website and YouTube channel. They have scrubbed people that have been trying to repost it. So we are left with clips on TikTok, Instagram, and stuff like that, and like X. Probably the best place to look for stuff like this. So I think we'll just bring X up now with the bits we can do. I think maybe if we start with
have you seen the apology that's been put out?
Yeah. No, there is an apology.
There's Francis
I've seen the apology. But that's how weird though. Like how tone deaf if there is some sort of apology out there, because like this is how long do you think it takes to make an opening ceremony for the Olympics? I would imagine round about the day that it's said, right, we're doing it in this country, they start thinking about the opening ceremony. You know, it is. Yeah. It's the Olympics halftime at the Super Bowl, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would take years planning. I think it's the only ceremony as well which hasn't been held within a stadium. So it's the only one which is being held within the city of Paris, or the only time it's been held not in the stadium. So that would take years of planning. Before I came on the show tonight, I actually saw someone post this, but the same guy who has planned this Paris is actually doing the Paralympics one as well. The same person.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah, the same person.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out.
He might just have to go back to the drawing board. So I suppose the big question that goes with this, do we believe that this is genuinely supposed to be? First of all, I apologize to anyone listening on audio. Obviously, that we're going to pull up pictures and videos here. So, but I'm sure you're going to have seen and understand what we're talking about. Do you believe this is a mockery of the Last Supper?
Appears to be so.
I think anything other than that is reaching, and to the point where if you don't believe that's what's going on here, you are the conspiracy theorist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Last Supper has been mocked before. It's not the first time. It's been done a million times. People do it with the ufology. They take everybody and put them on a table. I think Rich has got an image of that. So, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, right?
It wouldn't be the first time. I think the difference there is, I think if you're doing it's the scale of it. It's the fact that there's very little reason for it. You know, I mean, obviously, someone else tried to liken it to the Simpsons doing the same thing. But there's a difference in like cultural significance between like the Olympics and the Simpsons. One's a comedy show. One is supposed to be. I mean, I always thought the Olympics was about amateur athletes training really hard and then going to a country to represent their own country. I struggle to see the representation here. Hidden Underbelly, how you doing, sir?
I wanted to slide in.
That's what he said.
Oddly enough, I think that's what 90% in this photograph of people in this photograph wanted to do as well. So Hidden, we were just saying, people are trying to say, oh, this isn't like a mockery of the Last Supper. What do you think, Hayden?
That's I even posted on my Twitter, but as soon as I saw that, that's the first thing that came in my head. So if it's not, then it's very suggestive.
It's just real. The thing I've got with it is why? Like, I don't get. I mean,
the Smurf.
The Smurf.
That's Papa Smurf as well.
Yeah.
Somebody, who did somebody say that was supposed to be?
Because I was wondering that.
I had it in my head to have for the show. Who was the god of fertility?
Oh,
Me?
man.
Was he blue?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, he wasn't. No. It wasn't Dionysus, was it? I was god of fertility.
I'll look.
Yeah. Somebody's got to.
Yeah. I was hoping my brain would work for once. So he's supposed to be the god of fertility. I don't see it apart from the fact he's got a beard. It's exactly the same as the headless woman that was in the castle, which I'm sure we'll find a photograph of soon. Was supposed to be Marie Antoinette, but then if you go and look at a picture of Marie Antoinette and you like, it looks nothing like her.
In that picture, it looks like he's the meal.
Spirit cooking has been brought up with this. I just struggle for why, like, what the purpose was. I get we're doing this inclusive thing where everybody, well, supposedly everybody's represented. Doesn't feel like everyone's represented here. I certainly don't see any representation for myself. I mean, apart from maybe the fat blue guy, but like direct representation.
Sorry, Josh. Now I know who you are. Hey, brother, how are you?
Okay, mate, it's okay.
As soon as I saw you come up, I remember who you were.
Yeah,
you used to do a show with your missus.
Yeah, we still do the show. We used to be involved with UFOs for a long time. Then we stepped back, and now we kind of focus on the culture wars, I guess, is what our show is all about now. Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen you. Sorry for interrupting, man.
Sorry. No, it's fine, mate.
Look, I'm going to roll up ahead and be quiet.
So here's what I got, Lee. Priapus? Is that how you pronounce it? It says a minor Greek god of fertility and protector of male genitalia, livestock, and fruit plants. Priapus is often depicted with an oversized phallus, and statues of him were often placed in gardens and fields to encourage bountiful harvests. I don't know. Interesting.
That wasn't the person that that I read that was supposed to represent, but I don't know. The blue guy confuses me, but again, with all this stuff, I think there's it feels like there's some sort of meaning behind it.
Yeah.
But again, right, we'll
always...
just go down the queue. Like, why do we think this is happening now? Like, why? Who's okayed this? Who thinks it's a good idea? What leads you to Macron like shared this with like "This is France" tweet, which I thought was very fucking weird. But you know, like, this is fucking Euro trash, maybe.
If this is France, no wonder why some of the people that are over there that are non-French citizens are taking over.
Yeah,
that is France.
Well, I mean, for me, that whole thing, that must have been planned for. These things were probably planned for well over a year.
More,
I would say, yeah.
I would say more than a year.
Yeah, more than a year. Like, so maybe they'll look at who had it last. Who was the last people? Was it us? Who was the Olympics last?
Was London the last? I can't remember. 2012 was the London Olympics.
I want to say it was Russia.
Yeah, there must be one
Let's
between.
take a look at the Russian Olympics ceremony.
That's a good one, yeah.
You think Putin's going to allow that kind of stuff to go on?
No.
Well,
this is another thing. I mean, can you imagine putting something like that on in a Middle East country? You know, it just wouldn't happen.
Well, that's why it's interesting, because you know they're clearly mocking Christianity, right? That's the only religion, it seems, which can be mocked these days. I mean, if they try to do that with Islam, for example, I mean, it wouldn't end well at all. I mean, they wouldn't even attempt it. They wouldn't even attempt it. And that tells you a lot about our culture at the moment, especially...
Massive disrespect, mate. Yeah.
Especially in the Western world. I mean, you know, traditionally, I guess, Western values are based on Christianity. And it's interesting, the last few years, we've kind of seen Christianity really take a back seat, and we've kind of seen this replacement religion in gender ideology, in my opinion, or this woke ideology. That's more like a religion to me now, which has replaced it. And it's all designed to like erode the family unit, erode the family values. And the last few years, it's just been complete chaos, because we've completely went against what our values are in the Western world, to me. And, you know, I think the Olympics basically sums it up. That opening ceremony of the Olympics basically sums it up, where we are with our culture now. And yeah, I mean, if they can do that with the Olympics, I mean, you just know it's going to get worse, you know?
Yeah, I think South Park threatened to show an image of Muhammad or something some years ago. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And I can't remember if they did it or not. I don't think that they did, but
I don't think did they do that?
I seen the one where they did it, but they also released a version where it was just it was like a, how do you say it, oblong thing in front of him. So there's two versions, but I clearly remember, because it was something like they were kind of like superheroes.
Yeah, I remember that being big news at the time, though.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
I've seen it. Fucked with. I mean, we've in all too recent history, we've seen what happens there. Like, what you do that, and Charlie Hebdo happens. You know, it's you have an attack on a satirical newspaper.
That was that German one, wasn't it? Where they cut his head off.
That was France, wasn't it? Charlie Hebdo, I think.
France.
Yeah. France. So I struggle to understand. Like, I struggle to understand where this stuff's come from, and that's the big problem I have with this topic.
Well,
and I'm all for people being happy. I'm all for people like living their authentic self.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
But I don't understand how we aren't supposed to ask the questions of, how wasn't this a thing 20 years ago? But I don't believe I went to school with like zero like gender neutral people. I don't believe that there was a there was a percentage of the people I went to school with that still to this day are not living how they feel that they should live, just because the social climate wasn't right for them to decide they were a cat. So there needs to be a good reason. There needs to be a good reason why this sort of social contagion has happened now.
It's really strange. I mean, we were talking about this last night at home because, you know, we spend a lot of time in this stuff with the show, and we can't get our heads around it either because it doesn't make any sense. You know, it just doesn't make sense why people who believe they're cats, like you just said, Lee, why are they being propped up in our society as like the moral high ground now? You know, you know, and I saw a story, I think it was the BBC a couple of months ago, and it was like how the cost of living crisis is affecting drag queens. It's like, what?
It's affecting
have you any idea how expensive sequins are?
Yeah, and lipstick and makeup's expensive too, I guess. But it's just crazy how they're propping up these things. I mean, and back when I was at school, a drag queen was kind of like a novelty act. It was, you know, something which you went to see as a grown adult for like a laugh, effectively. But now we've got like drag queen story time. We've got, you know, drag queens effectively having strip shows in front of kids, you know, and it's completely being normalized. It's just, it doesn't make sense.
See, I haven't got a problem with drag queen story time. It's the outfit that they're turning up in.
Yeah.
You know, like, do you remember the one that dressed up and he had like a baboon's ass and stuff?
Yeah.
It's that I don't have. See, I see. This is the problem. I think personally, there's two things. There's one that maybe we'll touch on later, but more, it's about diversity. They're trying to cause, making a division, and that always reminds me of the Albert Pike letters, what he said about dividing, and by doing things like that, it's just too much in your face.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I don't know. I'm going to be quiet because I'm frightened that I'm going to say something wrong and get cancelled. And that's where we are in this society. We can't have an open debate without offending someone.
Hidden, I don't think, like, for me, I don't, and I always want to be careful around stuff like this. But like, I've got friends who are gay.
Oh, that's so homophobic right there.
Very good friends, right?
But that's homophobic. That's what every homophobic says.
But what's gone on? What's gone on in the world right now?
Tell us, Ollie, how many of them are black as well?
No. What I'm saying is, it's an embarrassment.
Yeah,
it's because
I get it.
Because they're just the same as everybody else.
Yeah,
and they're pissed off with this shit.
But it's just weird because
doing stuff in front of kids when they've got microphones and lifting up the skirt and stuff. And I've seen that, and I'm not. If I was with my kids at a fair, I would be. I don't know what I'd do, but I would be very angry. And people have a right to be angry over that because
that's right.
Nothing sexual should be done in front of children.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's what a lot of it is. I think people just don't want a lot of sexual, explicit nature around their kids, which, I mean, come on. Some of the stuff that I've seen, my mom would have ripped me out of rooms like that, you know, when I was a kid growing up. My dad would have ripped me out of rooms like that. They wouldn't let me be involved in any of that at all. So I think, you know, it kind of comes down to a lot of the parents, too. Yeah, a lot of it comes down to the parents too, man. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's your the way you view it.
This has nothing to do with gay people. It has nothing to do with it.
I don't think it does either.
Something very sinister that this has been pushed on society, and I don't think it's as big as how people think it's that big. I think they're trying to make it big. They're trying to make it big. They're trying to cause shit. Chaos.
Exactly. Albert Pike letters, baby.
That's all it is.
There's a good comment here by DW, which fits in right about now. Is like, do you guys believe the ball sack hanging out was deliberate? Which is wild that's a sensible comment.
It was a ball sack hanging out.
Yeah, we can't. I don't think we can show it.
I don't want to see.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't. Dude, the first thing I seen when I seen it was like, is it real? but then I didn't want to zoom in, so I didn't want to like look
No.
any further. But it's we're in that kind of a time though where it's like you have to question everything, AI involved and everything else. I mean, who knows?
What, an AI ball sack?
But even that
No,
Smurf,
AI's involved in this,
he
man.
was like lying down with his legs spread, and you could see his crotch there. It's
gross.
like,
Yeah, it's true
why,
too.
You know,
Yeah, it's true too.
So just to smart Ollie up to this.
There's a child there as well, isn't there?
Yeah. So
The front
yeah,
row.
but this is what makes it like more interesting. Your lad there with the black coat on, he's got his balls hanging out the side of his G-string right now. Like, is in right now in that photograph behind.
I'm gonna have a look at it.
At essentially,
sorry.
at essentially child head height.
Yeah.
Oh man,
It's just it's fucking bizarre.
It's creepy. It's just creepy to me because like you guys have correctly said tonight, we shouldn't be putting kids in these situations. Full stop. And 10 years ago, it wouldn't even be a debate. It would just be you just don't do it. But now there's just this clear agenda to sexualize kids.
That's awful.
And I just don't get it. I just don't get
10 years ago, somebody would have been arrested.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there was this crazy story here. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it or not, but there's a famous case here called this guy called Nicholas Cepeda. And he's a professor at York University in Toronto. And he's a 50-year-old man, but he moonlights as a 13-year-old girl, right? And he's allowed to swim in swimming competitions against 13-year-old girls, and then openly go into their changing rooms and expose his penis to them, right?
Nah.
And no one could do anything about it because legally he is allowed to tell the federation or whatever it is, the organization, that he is a girl, and they can let him into the competition because he says he is. And we've got parents trying to stop it. We've got people trying to stop it. Reporters here. I mean, we had Tucker Carlson was talking about it. Megyn Kelly was talking about it. Joe Rogan was talking about it. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this stuff goes on all the time. And it's just crazy how our society now is just allowing these just fucking perverts at the end of the day. I mean, that's what these people are. You're pervert if you want to. If you claim that you were a little girl when you were a 50-year-old man, and then you're going into changing rooms, that's a pedophile in my book, And like we're normalizing that now. To me, it's just I don't get how we've even got here as a society.
I think there's even a like an easier way to bring this up without even being quite as incendiary, is the fact that we're constantly told, and we have been constantly told for the past, I'd say 5 years, which since it's really took hold, that men are a threat to women. We are constantly told this over and over and over again, and I will 100% like back that idea. It's like men in general are much bigger and much stronger. We also have the capabilities to do like unspeakable harm. The issue I have is that we are then supposed to jump from a man stops becoming a threat to women when he decides he's a woman, and that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Nailed it, Lee. You've nailed it.
Yeah.
It's interesting, yeah.
That's why I laughed, because that was the. Yeah, never mind.
But I mean, so the question is, right? Why? And I think this is the this is where we can go slightly more conspiratorial with it. Like, why now? Why the over sexualization of? I mean, I'd say even beyond kids, it's the over sexualization of culture now as well. That was the I remember when like RuPaul's Drag Race was like really kicking off, because I think people have actually pulled back from that stuff now. But there was there was like two or 3 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race where it was really swing and hammer, and like everybody was watching it. I mean, my son was like 1 or less than 1. He hadn't even had his first birthday when that came out. And as soon, like when I saw that, I said, I'm not comfortable with this shit on, even when he's like doesn't know what's going on. I don't see this as family entertainment. But what's pushed it? Like what's the reason for this push into society with this stuff?
I mean, I think there's a lot of reasons. I think money's one for sure. It always comes down to money at the end of the day. I mean, how much money do you think there is in, sex change surgeries, putting kids onto puberty blockers, and like eventually, going down the route of changing their bodies to look like a girl or vice versa? I mean, there's probably a lot of money in that.
I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting thought. But I would argue that there probably isn't as much money in that as there has been lost by Disney.
True.
Like Disney's market value has gone down billions because they have they've decided that the family unit is not their target audience anymore, which is wild. That's why I think there's a deeper agenda at play here.
Agree. Yeah.
Well, going back to the planning. So Josh, you said this was taking well over a year to do this.
I think it would have taken.
I said a year, if not longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever something's being planned, there's always somebody who steps in and goes, "Well, hang about. If we do this, it might not have the right." What's the word I'm looking for? The right reception. It might not have the right audience. So somebody's seen this. Somebody's seen the whole presentation, and they've just gone, "Yeah, that's brilliant. It's excellent. Everybody's going to love this." I don't believe that for a second. There's no way they all sat there, all the people that were on board then got, everybody in the world is going to absolutely love this.
I know.
They knew. I think they knew it would cause uproar.
And isn't that PR then, in one aspect, because they've done something that everyone's talking about?
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair idea.
I don't believe that's it. I have a theory, but I'm not going to share it yet. I'll let you guys talk.
Well, I mean, look, if the theory is at the very top, all the people at the very top are what designing like a ceremony like this and putting all this together, then that means there's probably people up the chain that don't agree. Happens in corporations all the time. People don't agree with their boss, but they don't want to say anything because they need to have a job, right? And so I think that silence, that way of fear of losing your job, is what kind of perpetuates situations like that and what causes. I mean, they've definitely had rehearsal on this for months. It's not the first time they did a dress rehearsal or even did it, obviously. They have dress rehearsal, they have pre-rehearsals, there's tons and tons of choreography that's involved. I mean, it's endless, months and months and months.
The thing you need, let's go down this route that it was a ceremony. Are we on the same page when we're saying the word ceremony?
No, but we can be.
Okay. We'll go to this then. If it was a ceremony, yeah, the rehearsals and all that don't mean nothing, because with the ceremony, you need the energy. So opening night would have provided so much energy for the ceremony.
Yeah, but I mean, can you imagine how much pre-production went involved in this too? I mean, they're storyboarding all of this, everything. They've went over.
These guys have a lot of money, more than what we can think of.
Yeah.
And if they think something will elevate them, like a ceremony, then they're going to do it. There's things coming, and there we go back to Lee, that you agree on the spiritual front. And now we're not talking religion.
100%.
We're not talking religion. We're talking spiritual stuff. Lee?
I think now might be a good time to bring this up. This is from the because I think the 2012 London opening ceremony puts into perspective like the fuckery that could be going on with what we're seeing here.
And I just wanted to say to the people in chat, if you look up lesser magic, then I believe you will understand what I'm on about. Or even Lee, me and Lee. Do you guys know about lesser magic?
I don't know.
Oh, it's a form of magic where it has to be done in front of everyone. It has to be done in the open. So these ceremonies, they provide the ideal backdrop. You even get lesser magic being done at concerts.
Mm-hmm.
It's the energy. You can do the ceremony, but without the energy. What's that going on?
This is the 2012 Olympic ceremony.
No, in bed. They look like Auschwitz kids.
It's I believe
no disrespect.
I'm hoping this will go on. Like this is a 3-minute clip. I hope this is going to show what I want it to show. I believe the 2012 London Olympic ceremony accurately predicted the COVID pandemic.
NHS.
The
NHS. Yeah.
It's.
I mean,
it's
even for the
death,
go ahead.
Thank you,
when
Keith.
death shows up is the interesting part. Let me see if I can whiz this forward.
I mean, when you look at this though, how is the general like I look at this, I take myself as just a general person, like anybody else watching something like this. How the hell am I supposed to know what this is anyway?
You know,
how could you not start looking at this and go, there's got to be some kind of symbolism here that I'm missing? Because just on face value, it doesn't make any sense. So why are we even doing this to begin with?
Right? I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
They always throw something up, even if it's sometimes there's a ceremony. Some ceremonies only take about 10 minutes. You say something and do the ritual. Like take Taylor Swift for example. Was it Taylor Swift? My one that I'm going to say is Katy Perry. Now, Katy Perry used to do a ceremony with a black horse. Yeah, you can see this online. You remember the black horse and her drinking blood out of the horse?
I think so, yeah.
Now, that's an actual ceremony. That's a ritual. Yeah. Now, you can say, look, it's entertainment, but the ritual don't know that it's a game.
Yeah.
Same with Sam Smith as well. Sam Smith's done stuff like that too. Yeah.
He's like sold his soul, man.
Yeah.
You can see it, man. He's if you, I mean, I don't want to, I'm sorry, but he's done something. He's gone to the dark side.
Yeah. I mean, if you compare Sam Smith from like 5 years ago to now, it's a completely different person, you know.
Did a great James Bond song as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
This part was I was hoping that video would get to this. But this part of it is when this like large death-looking character wanders through the hospital beds that are there.
It's creepy, man.
Struggle with anybody to explain to me why this is a fucking good idea.
Do they ever release anything? Does anyone ever cover this and say, hey, you know, in case you were wondering what the hell this is what the symbol is? I mean, do they have an excuse for it?
No, we're just conspiracist theorists. So they're not gonna even entertain it, man.
So they don't give us a chance. We have to be conspiracy theorists.
No. Yeah. Do you remember the famous tunnel that they opened up in Switzerland? I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, but I was
gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Look at all that. That was downright satanic. Even nobody that don't believe in that stuff can say, hold up, something was weird. Did they reply to that? Because everybody and their son covered that.
Yeah, it was big.
Mm-hmm.
They never replied to that. It was just a work of art.
Because sorry, Hidden. Do you believe it's because they have to give some sort of they have to give some sort of indication to plans to escape karmatic effect?
I don't understand.
Like do you think there's a rule that these people have to live by where they have to explain what they're doing to escape karma?
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
No. I think go back to the spiritual warfare then.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think I believe that there's a pattern. You probably know of the prophecies. You know about how the world will end in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's all boiling up to that, because there has to be energy is the most powerful thing in the world. It's the key, right? And if you get a lot of people turning negative, even good people. I mean, like, you got priests right now that are pissed off about the London, about the France thing, the opening ceremony. If you get
I mean, and rightly so. It's right up their street, you know.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Oh, a lot of good people are generating all this negative energy. These people got negative energy. They're like, do you understand what I'm saying, Lee? Do you guys understand?
Yeah.
No,
I get you.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a ramblings of a stoner, and it probably is, but that's the kind of energy the energy they need. They can the spiritual will feed on the negative. It needs that. It's all part of things, and these ceremonies, these magic tricks. It's what they're designed to do. Like, we're talking about it now, and for a bit we kind of went a bit negative when we were talking about trans. I don't say we were negative, but we could feel it, like even saying not around our kids, and that built up some energy, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about, I'm sure, I don't know whose parents.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy for sure. When you talk about kids being involved in anything they probably shouldn't be, it's heavy, man, for sure. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, without a doubt.
That's that negative energy coming. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, energy is a real thing. I mean, if you've ever stood out in front of, like, thousands and thousands of people before, I just a little quick thing. I grew up playing hockey, and I got to skate out in this arena in Michigan. It was like, it was thousands and thousands of people. You feel like everyone looking down. You feel it, dude. It's there. It's a thing.
The energy.
Yeah.
And that makes you go on even more. The energy, and that's all it's about. It's all it's about, man.
So what do you think energy harvesting's for?
I don't want to really go down this rabbit hole, because then it's going to sound like I'm a lunatic. But you know what's coming. I don't know how long it's good, but things to me have been like, all right, part of it has to do with the third temple.
Mm-hmm. Well, last time you were on, we were discussing the red heifer sacrifice.
Oh well, dude, Israel's put money in a cloning project.
Mm-hmm. So
they're going to clone the red heifers now, and they're going to be pure red heifers. So, but my main one with this one was the third temple, because that's the temple of David. Oh, sorry, Solomon. That's Solomon's temple. Sorry, I'm stoned, but that's Solomon's temple. Now, the Wailing Wall.
Yes,
that is the wall of the temple, right? But most of the temple, see, the third temple has to be resurrected. So is it the Rock of the Dome, or is it the Dome of the Rock? Rock of the Dome.
Yeah,
which one
I think
is it?
so. I think it's Rock of the Dome.
Well, that's built right on top of the temple. Now, remember, it has to be resurrected. So how can it be if there's a mosque built right on top of it?
Right.
Now look what we got going on now.
Yeah.
So if that gets hit, if that gets damaged,
well, there was an interesting thing happened with like a friend of the show who was he was supposed to be on tonight as well with us, but he couldn't make it, which is Greg from Strange Sauna, and he did an excellent series on and I'll preface for his point here, he doesn't believe that Donald Trump is like the Antichrist, but what he's done is he has done a series of podcasts that link similarities between Donald Trump and the Antichrist. And the last I think he finished his series up about maybe 3 months ago, and like he basically ended it by saying, by talking about the beast with a deathly wound to his head, and his thing was, well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see whether Donald Trump ends up with a head wound, and if he ends up with a head wound, we can move forward and look at this. And then, lo and behold, and it's not escaped me the idea that he could be the one that helps Israel rebuild the temple.
But first, they got to get rid of the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Everything stems from the rock. But the thing is, there's a dude. How much can I talk about this?
No, go for it.
All right.
By the way,
there's a guy, right? Me personally, now I keep an eye out for this guy because I'm lucky. The job I do, I get to go places and see things. So I keep an eye.
You're a hitman, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a keyboard 47. Warrior. Nah. Now I understand. I'm a YouTuber. I have my own channel. That's why I see things. But anyways, this guy that you need to look out for, they call him the Betrayer. All right. Now I've said his name.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Him. Watch that cat. That's the cat, because he fits the timeline. Because some of the stuff they're talking about, like I can remember that he's supposed to come from like Tibet. It's really crazy. Himalaya side. That's where the Betrayer came from. He originated from there. Or first reports of this dude. That's the one to watch. Forget watching who's gonna bring him in. We know who it is. That's the one to watch. Have you seen the pictures of him or anything? Or you just heard his name?
No, I think I've seen pictures of him. Is he in his 20s?
Well, that's the whole thing. He don't look like he's aged.
How old is he supposed to be? He's quite a good-looking guy, isn't he?
Well, he's supposed to be. He's supposed to have came out around the 70s. He came out of the Himalayas.
What? So he's supposed to be in his 50s. See, I thought he was in his early 20s.
That's what I'm trying to tell
you.
Who
is this guy?
Let me see if I can find a photograph of this guy.
Yeah, dude, I don't know either.
I'll say it now. I don't advise you guys to do heavy research into this. If you're going to enter this with your own peril, okay?
The Betrayer. It sounds like an Elden Ring boss, man. I don't even know what we're talking about here.
No, straight up, man. Straight up. I'm not making this stuff up.
No,
man.
I believe you. I'm just saying I can't make heads or tails of it.
So this guy came out from the 70s, yeah, from the Himalayas. He's still around to this day, and he still looks the same age.
I haven't seen any pictures of him of recent. Like probably.
Do you have a picture of him?
Oh man, I'm stoned.
Naked.
No.
Naked.
On OnlyFans.
He's got an OnlyFans.
If you look at Betrayer in Africa, because that I believe is
sounds
one
like
of
an
the best
album.
ones. Yeah. But apparently this dude turned up in Africa, man. They took a picture of him and straight away, that's the Betrayer.
Hidden, you get stoned and you go deep.
No, because I'll be honest with you, man. I used to be well into it. I thought it was going to be Obama. I thought Obama was going to be the one, but obviously he wasn't. But I was way into it. And the thing that happened was I was talking to a good friend of mine about all this shit. And he turned to me and he said, I know you know what you're on about, but what can you do with all this stuff you know? You can't stop anything. Can't do nothing. And I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right here. So I just stopped doing it, and my head just feel better. But because I have to go search the internet for footage, I also see other things. That's how come I know, like, Israel's got a clone. They're going to clone the red heifers, because they don't just need one red heifer for the ceremony. It could be, I think it could be 8, 9. If anybody in the chat's smarter than me and knows how much, please, because I really don't know. But I know it's more than 3.
So obviously we're talking like some spiritual stuff, and we knew we would do this. I'm interested with having Josh on the show, because you guys have kind of stepped away from the whole UFO thing. What's the reason behind that?
Well, we just figured it out a long time ago that it was a load of crap. Simple as that, really.
Honestly.
Yeah, and I was someone who was interested in UFOs and aliens since I was a teenager, really, so a very long time. And
what do you mean it's crap, Josh? Have you seen the new book imminent here?
Oh, the Londo book, I guess. Is
Yeah.
that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just
yeah.
kidding,
But you know, it was only I don't know, like going into the topic ruined the magic, you know, because then you could kind of figure out when, like, you talk to people, you talk to these prominent people within the UFO community, and then you just realize that they're just full of shit at the end of the day. They're just grifters. They're trying to sell something. And you know, it's funny because, you know, I do kind of dip my toe in from time to time.
So what did you say? You broke up a little bit there. Grifters, they're trying to what?
Yeah, they're grifters. They're trying to make money. But you know, they just know that this topic, not you guys. I mean, no, these prominent people within the UFO community. I guess people like Lou Elizondo, Stephen Greer, all these kind of people, the Corbells of this world, the George Knapps. You know, they haven't provided a single fucking shred of evidence. I mean, it's just as simple as that, you know, and it's not that deep, you know, it's not that deep. And if there was some sort of proof, I mean, we'd all know about it. It'd be all over the fucking news. So
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you ever think with some of these people, they were getting like old FBI cases, regurgitating them, but saying this happened a lot later, like they were the only ones to know about it?
Yeah, it's just the same stories
regurgitated,
told in a different way, but it's the same, you know, the same kind of elements of the story, just retold a different way. And it just got frustrating to deal with because we knew that Lou was full of shit like years ago. You know, we called him out plenty of times on our show. He was actually due to come on our show.
I remember.
And then he found out that we were talking to you guys. He found out we were talking to Fullon and Manny, Area 503, and all these people. And then he cancelled the show. And it was just ridiculous because clearly he just didn't want to be questioned, you know?
Do you remember how he canceled it?
Yeah, so he basically called us liars because we called him out because there was someone who's close to Lou, Max Moskovich. Do you know him? The Dutch reporter guy?
No, not off the top of my head, no.
No. Well, he was doing work with Lou Elizondo for years. He actually went with him to San Marino to film like a documentary. And Max was telling us all this shit behind the scenes, like what Lou's really like. And some of the stuff he was saying about our show, some of the stuff he was saying about, you know, John Greenwald, all these kind of people. So we thought, yeah, you know, we're going to get him on the show and we're going to call him out on all this shit. And then he got wind that we were speaking to you guys, we were speaking to Fullon and Area 503 Manny. And then he cancelled the show. He put out a statement or something saying it was like a scheduling kind of
conflict.
Yeah. But it was just
that old chestnut.
It was
but was it but was it directly from him or did he have like a third party contact you to cancel it?
It was from him, and then he called us out on his Twitter as well. Like a couple of years ago, he called us out on Twitter.
I just wonder about the behind the scenes stuff sometimes like that, you know.
But it's just so petty. It's just so petty, you know. And
what do you say?
Yeah, it's just so petty, the whole thing, and you know, it's just crazy to me how there's still people now who believe that moron. You know, he's just lying to your faces, clearly.
I wanted to ask that because and it's very much in line with this show because do you guys remember we did a show on it with the baseball games? Was it the baseball games in the US with the whole aliens everywhere? It was not baseball.
Oh,
football, Super Bowl. Yeah, I know it involved balls. But yeah, so
I did enjoy you calling the baseball games though.
Yeah. But this whole thing with like you showing the COVID thing back in 2012, we've just
I must say what one of the things I didn't pull up there because I couldn't find it while I was trying to scroll through is that above the thing they make a virus like you know the spike protein
like
pattern.
I think I remember seeing
they all come together and make this spike protein pattern in the middle of the Olympic Stadium. It's fucking bizarre. Sorry, I'll carry on, Ollie.
No, but like what Hidden was saying there with the kind of like, I think you almost saying like summoning something like black magic, and you've got all these ceremonies, and Matt said it very well. The audience sat home are probably just thinking, well, this is pretty weird. It looks cool. What is it? I don't understand it. And then, but then you've got the artists are going, oh, it's just art. It's just art. But why is the art so dark?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's art. It's dark art.
You know, you never see these, yeah, but you never see these kind of ceremonies where I can't remember the last one where there's like flowers opening and, you know, little bunnies running around. It's always something that's dying or, you know, some sort of weird, crazy thing.
Yeah.
Something sexual, something dark. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you see, there's one shot where it shows like this heavy metal band that's coming out in the ceremony that's recently here we're talking about, where it has like the fire and it's red and the woman's head that's being held and stuff like that. If you were to walk, cool. if you were to walk into like a regular heavy metal show, like an arena show, that might not really surprise you. There's a lot of that stuff. That imagery has been in heavy metal music forever.
You'd expect
on stage.
It's just like, yeah. Well, yeah, all around. There's been all sorts. Cannibal Corpse has gotten crazy stuff that they go over.
Rammstein,
yeah.
their whole show.
Like, yeah, well, it's just the idea of it being.
Even like Madonna, like years ago, what was that song she did when she was when she had sex with Jesus on like the video?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that like a never mind.
Like a virgin.
I think it was Like a Virgin, and that was nearly 30 years ago now.
It weren't because wasn't Jesus at that time, and I mean no disrespect, wasn't he black and didn't have a problem with a black Jesus?
Yeah.
Something prayer.
Like a prayer, like a virgin.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Did she have a song called Like a Prayer?
Yeah.
That's it then. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just odd to see it in that ceremony, that situation, right? It's odd to see that at the Olympics. You know, I think that's where it really looks weird, right?
It's getting bolder. It's getting bolder, man.
Well, I think I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Like halfway through the Eras tour gig of the Swiftie concert, they have a full-on satanic ceremony. Like halfway through that show, like it's weird. Like it's like a full-on witch coven where they're all wearing black robes. It's strange.
You got no shots from that. I haven't seen that.
I'll have a look. Yeah,
I don't watch these people because I believe. Snoop Dogg said something. He said a lot of good things, but Snoop Dogg said, "If you know where the race is going to end, just wait at the finishing line. Why run the race?" So I don't watch these people. Their music don't interest me.
Same.
So I don't watch them. So I don't know what they're up to, but I know they're up to things.
But there is like there's definitely a bigger agenda going on here. I can't really put my finger on it, but look at the degeneracy in our society, and it's just openly just in our faces daily now. And
the spirits, mate. Just look into lesser magic. You might. I mean, I might be a crackpot, maybe so. Who knows?
I'll take a look at it. I've got an open mind. I'll take a look at it. Definitely.
Nowadays, it ain't about the money. Nowadays, there's something bigger coming.
No, for sure.
There's something bolder.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the position of the economics with us folks.
Sorry, there's a guy talking in this, so I'm gonna turn it off. But this is halfway through her show. Bearing in mind, this is the same tour that 3 times there's been 3 separate occasions. There's been 3 different mainstream stories now of people that have been going to that show and then suffering from amnesia after they've been to it, which is really weird.
Oh yes, I did see a story about this, Lee. Yeah, I did
Yeah.
see that the other day.
I just think in the middle of a pop show, this is odd.
It's the same. It's a ritual.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
It's a ritual.
I mean, it's
they're recreating a ritual. Sorry.
It's just the when you take into account when you can when you take into account this is Taylor Swift and not Gojira or someone like that, it's just mental.
Yeah, and there's probably kids here as
It
well.
goes on
the
much
thing.
longer than that as well. It's just that's just what I found.
That's the thing. The kids are there. It's not saying it's energy, but it's look. This kind of ceremony that's going on here. Yeah, I would hazard a guess it's Druid. The older magic.
Yeah.
Now you got to remember this with magic. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll just say
No.
this.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You got to remember the thing with magic. Magic is neutral. Okay, it's the individual that's wielding this magic. It's what they want to use it for. So when I say what we could be looking at is a Druid ceremony, yeah, they might have been doing something to conjure up something to make it rain, you get what I'm trying to say? Because Druids, they believed in many different entities to control many different things.
Without putting you on the spot, Hidden, how would you define magic?
It's a hard one because it is a power because there's different types of magic and different levels kinds of magic where you have some magics where you some magic where you can influence kind of thoughts.
Well, you could argue getting away with a lie is simple magic because you've changed somebody else's perception of reality by telling an untruth.
But also willing somebody like to just do a simple thing like get up and buy me a burger.
Magic is a wide range. I mean, if you took an iPhone back into the 1800s and showed it, that'd be magic. It's such a wide term. It's so hard. The aperture's gargantuan. It's hard to say. I was going to mention earlier, didn't she also, Taylor Swift, have like the UFO abduction kind of imagery where the UFO came down to her in her show too? Anybody remember that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
How is it a thing for Taylor Swift?
You haven't looked close enough.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and all these people, all the biggest stars, always the one eye and everything else, right? It's incredible. It's always incredible when you see the top artists that way.
But sometimes I think they're doing that for effect.
There's probably some of that. Sure.
I think there are others that ain't, but it's hard to tell who's who.
the fakers,
Unless they're all at it.
the wannabes. Which ones are the real ones? The real.
I mean, what gets me with this stuff is, and sometimes I think, well, am I overthinking it? Like I love Nine Inch Nails as much as the next guy, but there's definitely there is definitely a dark, sinister undertone to all of Nine Inch Nails and stuff. But it's my favorite band, and I can't stop listening to them. But it just feels like these things are more invasive, and like we just said about Taylor Swift and the Olympic opening ceremony, it's in places that you wouldn't expect it.
Yeah,
and that's what's jarring about it. Back onto the Olympic ceremony. Hidden. I know we were like talking about the biblical prophecy before. You take the rider on the horse as being something, or was it supposedly was it Marie Antoinette it's supposed to be depicting?
See, I haven't. I've seen the rider. I've seen the video of the rider and the horse, but I haven't seen if anybody's looked into it because, like I said, I'm not bashing my head up against a brick wall.
It was Joan of Arc. It's supposed to be Joan of Arc. That's who's supposed to be on the horse.
I like her story.
Yeah.
Well, the one history says.
That's it.
Red Panda, how you doing, buddy?
Hey,
What
what's
up,
Red?
guys? That's
Salute,
going on,
Red.
but, yeah, no camera today either, but yeah, just chilling. How's everyone
No
doing?
worries,
Good to
man.
see you, Josh. There, good to see you, bro.
Yeah, you too, Red.
Ollie,
You too,
Lee, Hidden. I don't think we've met before, but nice to see you.
Yeah, there you go. How you doing, man?
I've actually got to shoot off, guys, in a minute. I've got to make dinner.
No worries, mate.
Apologies for that.
Do I
I know
smell?
Max just joined. I feel bad, but yeah, I do have to make dinner. I've got to make the mashed potatoes.
This is something I said.
Yeah, what'd you
Yeah,
do, Red?
No,
Come
it's
on.
not Red.
Yeah, he said he hated you before like we went live. It's like
No.
he said I've got to get out of here
Red's
before.
been on our show a few times. We're big fans of Red, so yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
did he say to offend you?
No, nothing. Tell Artemis I say hi. I hope y'all are doing well out there.
I will do, Red.
Canada.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Well, yeah, I'll come back on at some point, guys. Just hit me up if you want to do something, and I'll happily come back on. Sure.
Real quick, Josh,
Absolutely,
have you followed any of the UFO stuff at all, or you're just like totally out of that?
I'm totally. I mean, we chatted about this briefly before. I do kind of keep an eye on it from time to time just to see if there's any news, because I am, it's something what I've always been interested in, but every time I look, it's always just the same bullshit. Someone's been caught out lying about this. Someone's been caught out saying this, and
Yeah.
just pointless.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can I ask a quick question then? Because I've seen something going around that Grosh is being sued, or is he suing someone?
He's suing. Like Red, what happened? It was over the records, right? His medical records or something. It was like a
yeah, I
FOIA?
thought it was Ross at first, but apparently the story is that Grush is suing the sheriff's department for releasing his medical records, which I don't think that'll really go anywhere. But go for it, I think. Why not? But
Okay.
Anyways, guys, I'll shoot off. See you later.
See you later, buddy.
See you later. See you
Nice
later.
meeting you,
Thanks
man.
for coming on, mate.
You too, man. Take it easy.
yeah, apparently he's suing the thing, which I don't know if that like people in this community always be getting their criminal histories brought up. You know what I mean? Like that's just like I don't know. I think that's all public record. I'm curious to see like what grounds he thinks he has. I do think Ken Klippenstein kind of did it kind of like not like it was kind of shady or sus, but it's also still like part of his story. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't think it necessarily like makes him a bad person or anything. I still really like Grush, but I don't know. I don't know if this will. I don't know where this lawsuit will go.
Seems to be the thing, doesn't it? Criminal records and or whatever. If you're involved in the UFO business, prepare to get.
Yeah,
your
people are
criminal-
digging through everything about you. Yep, your mom's criminal records and all that.
Yeah, you can show mine. I don't care.
Honestly, I think it made it more relatable.
While we're on the UFO stuff, Panda, how did you find the excerpts of Lou's book that came out?
Dude, I saw you guys were talking about it yesterday or something too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, dude, I don't even know how to feel about because honestly, I'm still pretty
trippy.
woo. I'm still pretty UFO. I do not like some of the behaviors of some of these disclosure pushers. I don't know, man. Also, did y'all see when he blamed per Jason Sands blamed Project Unity for the leak? I found that very strange.
Yeah.
I like what McWest said. It's like, is he kind of like doing a free fact checking thing? Like, did he leak it? Did he leak that 184-page document? And then like the stuff that people are not feeling, or you know what I mean? He's just gonna cut and be like, oh, that was never in there. I don't know.
So you think there's like an extra copy, like a like one that was like sent around by the peers, not the Google link, is what you're thinking, Red? That got sent
Correct.
around for the.
There was one on Scribed, the website for a while that got taken down. That was separate of the Google preview. So there was like two things going on. And it was crazy when I asked, because I couldn't speak at that time, but when I asked, who was it? It was UFO Sarah to ask the question. I had no idea that he allegedly had dinner with Lou like 2 days before. Mm-hmm. And it turned into this whole, like, I didn't expect him to say like Project Unity or anything like that, you know?
Yeah. Well, look, Elizondo's he has to comment, dude. That's too big of an accusation to not come out and comment at this point.
Right. And he did it for Michael Moran, right? Or when Project Unity had that Michael Moran guy on, like, 2 months ago? He was like, I don't know who this guy is, da-da-da. And he hasn't done it with Jason Sands yet.
It's true. Well, nobody really has. I mean, Jason Sands has been dropping a lot of names. Grush too. He's in contact with him. Grush is mad at him. Blah 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 blah. You know, I don't know. Jason Sands to me has always made a lot of big claims, dude. But the difference is with this one, I think, is that Grush doesn't have social media. You know, there's not really a way for him to come out and talk like as easily as it is. I could speak with Lou. So Lou needs to come out and make a mention of it. But I don't know, dude. Sands is suspect to me to begin with. And like when I originally said, I don't really know if I trust Sands even had the dinner. I'm not defending Lou at all. I just think that the very first step of this whole situation, you have to question even begin with the timing of that. I don't know, man. It's weird.
Yeah, I see that. But also one thing that I said for the other way was when he first came out, Danny Sheehan was like, I'm not representing him. He's uncontrollable. And then like a week ago, he was unvetted, and instead of saying that, now he's saying, "Oh, I can't speak on the matter," which makes me think that Sheehan might be starting to represent him, which would kind of lend towards the Lou dinner happening.
Yeah, I think so. It felt like that. I mean, he goes, "Well, you know, I can't really speak on it, but you can kind of take what you want from that, right?" So I felt like he kind of confirmed that, and that's why I think Jason's starting to get a little bit more. Feeling a little bit more comfortable, feel a little more powerful, if that makes sense, you know. And he's
I saw that too, like with Lou reviews, his interaction with Lou reviews, or kind of like shit talking Project Unity J without really knowing the backstory, but being like, if Lou blocked you, it's for a reason, you know. It's like, and it makes me sad because I do think he's a good guy, but I mean, I've just seen it happen to many people. Like, you could have situations framed for you by people, and it's like you think you're doing the right thing, and it's like maybe it's not exactly how. Like, he should have been. If I was him, I would be mad at Lou, like not me. If that interaction happened, right? If he actually, because Lou was trying to psyop, if that's the case, because I don't think Lou in his heart believes Unity did that. If this is true, right? I would be like, yo, why did this guy tell me that it was Project Unity? But he's probably taking Lou at his word, right?
Right.
They got that military connection and whatnot, and yeah.
Have you
it's
guys
a pretty big allegation as well? So sorry, Ollie. It's a pretty big allegation as well. Would that be liable?
I thought about that too. It seemed almost slanderous to me. So that's another reason why I want Lou to come on and talk about it, because no matter what you feel about Jay or not, I think Jay's great. You know, you wouldn't want that to happen to anybody, right?
Yeah, especially with the Lou crew. And
but on both sides as well. So
to get to the bottom of the leak, we want to know who leaked it, right? And if we're throwing out fake ones that we know it isn't it, you got to be like, Lou want to get to the bottom of it, not be telling people all these fake ones.
Is there a possibility that Lou could have leaked it for publicity on his book?
So I kind of think maybe might have happened. I mean, the fact that he name dropped Unity makes me kind of lean that way, because like I think in his heart he knows it wasn't him. You know what I mean? Or maybe someone's manipulating Lou. Maybe Brother Joe is in the DM being like, "Oh, yo, dude, Unity."
Let's pin it on him. He was the man in the grassy knoll.
The only thing about
what do you guys think of the book, Lee, Ollie? I haven't talked to you about it. I talked to Terrestrial in that space on Friday.
Yeah,
I enjoyed what we went through yesterday. I'll definitely.
Oh yeah, I heard that too. Yeah,
like read or listen to it when it comes out properly. I think I said last night, I don't believe it's going to be boring. You know, it's whether it's true or not is a completely different matter. But I think it's going to be really fucking interesting.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And just on the Jay Project Unity thing, Jay doesn't strike me as the type of guy to do something like that.
Yeah. Or if he did do it, I think he would own it too. Be like, yeah, fuck you. You know what I mean? Not like,
yeah. 100%.
It also makes no sense. It makes no sense to for a content creator to leak something and it not give him anything back, like content wise. I could 100% back somebody that turned around and said, "I've got a copy of Lou's book early," you know, and then doing a show talking about it. I get why you would do that. But for him to be a content creator and just to throw it out on the internet, it doesn't make any sense for any of us to do that. You would want something in return.
I've not watched it. But didn't Manny go on Lou?
Yeah, he did, and they talked about it a little bit too. I watched that one.
Has Manny read the whole thing?
I think, if I recall correctly, Manny does have this described one, but mind you, there's the preview, the leak. The leak wasn't the full book either, but it was just more than the preview. I think he has been going through that one. Yeah.
Right.
And what do you guys think of? So the torture thing was interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
kind of goes to show the mentality. You know what I mean?
Tortured.
Yeah.
Who got tortured?
Yeah, he talks about he I feel like he was bragging. People were like, no, he wasn't bragging, but he was kind of low key softcore bragging. I think about being called the
Darth
Darth
Vader.
Vader of USA
Yeah.
and the Tsar of
Yeah.
torture by the people who planned 9/11.
When we went through that last night, I fully got the feeling that is a man that is proud of the work he's done, and I'm sure it comes with the caveat of, like, I was serving country, you know, and I can 100% understand somebody that takes that attitude. But like we were talking last night, I mean, Dave, who comes on this show, always has an interesting take on stuff like this, especially when it's to do with like military and like special ops type things. And he said from the word go, it's like, these are the people in UFO Twitter which are poking this guy. And he was saying this 2 years ago. He said people that are poking this guy, like, they do not have any idea what type of animal they're trying to like provoke a reaction from.
Yeah.
This guy's the dentist from the Marathon Man.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys? I think he's tortured people, right? That's the vibe I got from that whole little thing. Like he is like not just an administrator overseeing Guantanamo, but like done the nail pulling out himself. You know what I mean?
Like we're not in the
Allegedly.
yeah, but like not in the Lou thing. Let me let me tell you a story about somebody I know that's involved in private security work. We were at a festival once, and one of the bouncers that was over that sort of fancied himself a little bit. So I was speaking to my friend. I was saying to him, like, look, I want to get into private security work. So what do I do? And he's like, you can't. He said, you actually can't. He said, you have to be ex-bootneck. You have to have X amount of things behind you that are provable that within your history to do this. And he kept pushing him until my friend turned around and said, Dave, like, I have literally killed nicer people than you. And it's this, there is a difference in mentality with people that have worked in these areas.
I agree. I do. I am thankful for his service, right? I have my own issues with Lou, but like that's commendable. Although the torture stuff is a little strange.
Sometimes you got to find some shit out.
You always got to remember this: what is chaos to the fly is normality to the spider.
This is what Dave said. I've got the bit. I was going to play it last night. Totally
Quick
forgot.
with the clip, you are.
Ollie, why do you look like a drunk
yeah.
Hugh McGregor?
Need that about a year ago that something was going to happen.
I told you. I'm surprised it took too long. Two, I'm surprised he's doing it among legal means. And if I were everyone involved in that, and I would never tell anyone, I don't fucking know any of those people. I don't care. I'm not invested. They should take heed. Like, if you're going to talk about him, be factual, be accurate, and don't go after the guy's fucking family. That's where all this shit went sideways, when they started talking about his wife and his fucking kids. And like the fact that it is only legal reprisal at this point, he's a fucking calmer man than I am. I'll give him that. He's a fucking monk. You know, and when we were in that class together, I wouldn't have guessed that.
You always said, though, don't fuck about with him. You can tell.
Don't fuck about with him. I know. I don't know him. Allegedly, I know dudes like him, and just lose a believer. He's a God and country kind of guy, man. Like that's what people don't get. Do I think he knows anything about ufology? Fuck no. Do I think he was the director of a department? Yeah. I absolutely. Absolutely. I believe everything he has said is factual and accurate, and that's why he said it. The problem with Lou is Lou's not going to tell you a lie. That's what nobody gets. He's going to tell you the truth, and it's truth structured in such a way that it will get across the correct point.
Interesting. I think he definitely has lied a few times here and there, but he does kind of lie in like a truthy way almost like Jason Sands, right? Where he's like, well, I didn't say he said Unity leaked it. It's like, well, he kind of did though, but they always leave themselves their little gray counter intel room to be like, I didn't really say that, you know.
It's just apple juice, Red. It's just
I didn't
apple
actually
juice.
call Rowler's mom a whore. I asked a hypothetical. You know what I mean?
Well, he did ask a hypothetical, but he called his mum a whore at the same time.
Yep.
So-
Exactly.
Lou. I can't wait to read this book.
Yeah, I'm surprised
listen
you didn't
to
say
it.
anything.
How much is the book, might I ask?
I have no idea.
Like
Actually.
$20 or $30, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
He narrates his own book too. That should be fun. That should be cool.
He's trying to save money on hiring somebody.
I'm a big fan of listening to books where the authors read them. Big fan.
For
of it.
sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I
Well,
love it.
in my eyes, it has to be the. I know people that like big readers would think this is sacrilege, but I think it has to be the most pure form to digest somebody's work.
Yeah.
Ooh. See, my missus is a reader. Yeah, she does listen to audiobooks, but she always says the same thing and I agree. You can't beat the smell of a book.
Well, you could smell it and listen to it at the same time.
You get the tone, right?
You
Then you don't
are-
have to worry about
you
trying to
are-
figure out where the comma is, you know?
What would Lou's book smell like?
Shit and regret.
LOL.
Sorry.
I'm gonna have to get the copy of it and
You
reveal
ever-
it on the show.
You ever smelt what 30 million smells like? That's what his book's gonna smell like.
Cuban cigars and apple pie.
I mean, I don't think he's gonna make 30 million.
Cuban cigars. Think
He'll make a
get
lot
more?
if he gets on Rogan, dude. He'll make a ton. Even Tucker, he'll make a lot of money.
You
He's
think
been
he'll get
MIA
more
still
or
though.
less?
He's been MIA for like the past year and some change, dude. Only giving little messages here to Good Trouble Show and stuff like that. I don't know, man. I think I'm just surprised at how MIA he's been. I think
Aren't
he's
you-
nervous about. I don't know.
Aren't
maybe
you
not.
worried that he might screw it up though? He's worried about screwing it up, coming out and talking too much again. He got a lot of heat the last
that's
time.
what it is. I think he had the Lou reviews thing. He had the fucking McGowan thing, the Black Vault thing. He's got like people like Manny and Tupa and me calling him out. I think he's afraid of like just having another one of those big blow-ups. But he's still kind of doing weirdo stuff behind the scenes, I think. So I don't know. I'm curious for terrestrial things. Yes, Rogan, right? What do you guys think? Is he going to go on Rogan for this?
I think so. I was saying like on last night's show, if he doesn't go on Rogan, I find it more interesting because his people will definitely be ringing Rogan. They will definitely be using be it Corbell or whichever inroads they have.
He's been wanting to go on
try
Rogan for a while now.
Yeah.
I think the Faces bureaucratic account even said something like that of like, you should get Lou on or something like that. And then also remember when Tucker was on? I think he did it strategically. And I think all these people do it. There's a tactic where if you give someone a piece of information that's emotionally charged, like right before they go on an interview or something like that, it kind of frames their mindset, right? I've seen it happen a bunch of times. But basically, like when he called into Tucker, like the first thing they talk about on Tucker was like a text message from Lou Elizondo, right? So I think that was him like trying to get his name in the zeitgeist of the Rogan universe right there. Because remember, he's like, I'm getting this text right now. It's when all the Kona Blue stuff was breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
Didn't Elizondo already talk to Tucker once back when he first started kind of coming on TV? Am I wrong about that?
I think for sure Tucker. I think for sure he'll go
Yeah.
on Tucker. That was his first interview. The most interviews I think on news was that with Tucker too.
Yeah, the relationship is already there. Yeah.
Yeah, they are there for sure. But for some reason, it seems like Rogan is like, he's so weirdly like, what's the word? Apathetic to all this stuff these days. It seems like, and I feel like before 2017, he was like a big UFO guy. You would expect him to be a little more, but I imagine Rogan has people in his ears. Rogan has probably a whole ass like CIA intelligence service of his own, just
100%
through like social networking of people he knows and stuff like that. So it is curious that he hasn't been on yet, dude. I hope he goes on. I'd like to see him go on. Fuck it.
Poor Rogan.
I mean, Rogan, like he seemed disappointed in the Grush interview, and then lately, if you remember in that Tucker interview they were doing, where he his whole idea is that this is advanced AI. I mean, I have a big belief that a big part of this is advanced AI. So maybe he's just not so into the alien side of the phenomenon anymore, and maybe he passes up. I doubt it, but it could be why.
What's advanced AI?
like you take quantum computing, Chat GPT, smash that together. I mean, what do you get 1,000 years from now? Time travel? Do you learn the physics? Does it figure out the physics for us for anti-gravity? I don't know. I think there's a big part of it that's going to help out with that. Yeah.
Who's saying this? Is this what's his name, Lou?
No, I'm saying that Rogan seems to be more interested in
Lou's
more
AI
approach. Yeah. No, he seems to be more interested in the AI approach than even like aliens anymore. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Yeah, because it's an interesting concept.
Yeah. But I think if Rogan gets to see any of the leaks at all, or any of the screen grabs talking about Roswell, deceased bodies, I still think that would be enough to really want him to get Elizondo to come on and talk, right?
I think so. I hope so. I hope he does. I hope it goes everywhere. But what do you guys think of his whole like, I'm not a ufologist, I'm not a UFO guy? I feel like his book was pretty UFO guy, right?
100%. Yeah. How could you not be? Yeah.
So that was kind
from
of
the bits that we've seen. But how big's this book?
It's big, and it smells like fruit.
I'm gonna see if it's online. I'm gonna look.
I think it's a little over 200 pages, right? I think.
I think so.
There's variation though. I think depending on whether or not how you get it or something. I've seen some posts talking about the page.
No, it was. I think it was. Was it Manny that made a deal about it? If it wasn't Manny, I apologize.
It probably was. He's been on this like crazy. Yeah.
And he put this thing up about saying how it was like 260 pages in the UK and 209 pages in the US, but completely missed the fact that the US was showing the paperback copy and the UK was showing the hardback copy. And so you're talking about the print size is different. Print size is always bigger than in hardback copies than paperback. So you're going to get more pages for a hardback. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same book. It's the world's too small. The world's too small to go, oh, we can't have that chapter in the US. Because it'll be like 30 seconds after the book and audiobook have been released. It'll be on every single torrent site known to man. So
global, baby.
No, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think I don't think we're going to get. I think probably the meat and potatoes of that book is probably the snippets that we might have already read.
What's left really? Because honestly, 23-minute video, boom. People wanted to hear more about his remote viewing. That's already out there.
What do you mean? He says he did remote viewing.
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh yeah, like even so much
this
so
is definitely
that
Luke. This
the
is definitely
Astral who runs the weekly remote viewing spaces was like, this was too much for me.
Oh shit.
I'm really interested to see whether he gets into the more esoteric side of it, the angle that Tucker Carlson has been going down. He's already mentioned it in an interview before, hasn't he, about the idea that this might be some sort of multi-dimensional type demon, so it's like phenomena. I tend to move that way with this stuff purely because I don't see evidence of physical things.
You see,
and you got to think. I think Tucker's worldview on this stuff is largely shaped by, I think, Elizondo and Gary Nolan.
So where do you feel this man fits in? Could he be part of something more nefarious? I can't say the word nefarious.
Lou, I think the whole UFO disclosure movement is a psyop. I think the whole modern UFO disclosure movement is a psyop. I think that's what he's been there. I think Lou's job has been to disrupt the alt media side of this subject, because the weird thing about it is, because it sounds stupid that in a way. It sounds stupid that the government would care about what YouTubers and what podcasters have to say about it. But the thing is, it's the only conspiracy theory, barring going down things like the government targeted conspiracies. But if you box UFOs and aliens in with like skinwalkers and Bigfoot and fairies and all that other sort of stuff. It's the only conspiracy theory where the government have actively got involved in it. And that's what I find interesting. I think he did exactly what he was supposed to do. I think he came in. I think he took the entire subject over. I think it stopped being about all these different YouTube channels and the cross-pollination of ideas and the cross-pollination of people coming on different shows. It made people fall out with each other. It turned, I mean, in my personal opinion, it turned Lou Reviews into a fucking lunatic. And
you get along with
I
him
think
so well as well.
I know it's terrible. But the thing is, I think that was by design. Like I think Terrestrial said last night, could we be looking at him being the next
Richard Doty?
Yeah. Richard Doty, and I think it's very possible.
That's
And if that's the case, if that's the case, then we should absolutely look at this book as targeted misinformation.
That's the thing too, right?
Enjoy it.
There's bombs being dropped, right? So like, I don't know. I think UFOs are real, but looking at the history of the subject, right? Are we trying to get Russia to spend billions of dollars investigating things for the next decade with this book? You know, kind of thing. Like going down rabbit, like how they
believe
you don't say that
happens.
about Bob Lazar, right? Bob Lazar comes out, and then Russia spends all this money trying to make Element 115, and they do it like a decade later, and it's not even really worth all the money that they spent on it. You know what I mean?
Doesn't that come with a healthy dose of like Western arrogance, though? The idea that we could drop an entertainment property and the Russians go, "Fuck, that's real." It's that I don't think I buy it, because it completely plays down the it plays down Russian intelligence. It plays down Russian science itself. I mean, you just look at literacy. You know, some of the greatest literacy in the world has come out of Russia. You know, these are not stupid people by any stretch of the imaginations. I don't believe that we would just like fool the Kremlin because Lou Alessandro dropped a book.
So the Russians bet you guys to 115, but they didn't beat it to the moon.
Well, the funny thing is, with the UFO subject is the unwillingness for another nation to say something else. Like why is everybody quiet?
But yeah, why is China not going? These guys are full of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, ask Tom DeLonge. He'll tell you that they're all working together behind the scenes.
Well, China did, and this is on my channel. This is one of those stories that I cannot believe it wasn't more widely published. But they held this whole press conference in like 2018 with Russia, paid for by Chinese government funds, and they invited all these ufologists from all around the world. It reminded me of like the Pokemon movie when Mewtwo invites all those trainers from all around the world. And they basically were trying to revamp the 1978 Grenada UN push. And look who was point man for this. Ready? So that whole group that they had in China that was paid for by Communist State Party funds, they discuss UFOs. If anyone wants to go check it out, it's my UN episode video on my channel. That whole group that China collected to do this is now the same group doing it out of San Marino, with the same thing. And Lou's point man on that too. So it's like the U.S. swooped China's little initiative that they had there. But it's fascinating that happened, dude. Like, I recommend everyone go watch that one, because it's they had and I'm telling you, people from Brazil,
got that on your
Bulgaria,
channel, right?
like Turkey, like all around the world. They were way international with it, and I didn't realize like how established like other countries, some other countries' UFO stuff was. I don't know.
That's on your channel, Red.
Yeah, it's United Nations and UFOs or something like that. Yeah, it's broken up into two parts. It goes first into like the 77 stuff, and then it goes into that push. But I think the San Marino stuff is still like on the table, kind of happening, but just slow, right?
I'm watching that tonight when I get to bed.
Yeah.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, and it was not reported. And the only reason I found out about it is because a few of the, like, I think something Clark, some UK, Gary Hesseltine. There's a few people who like brought it up. James Fox, I think, was even there. A few people had brought up that like they had gone out to China for this UFO thing, and I was like, what the hell are they talking about? and I had to dig pretty hard to like find. But I found the invitation that the Chinese government sent out to all these ufologists, explaining how their meal and travel would all be paid for, and room and board.
What was mine?
What's up?
Your invite hidden.
Yeah, where was it? Did mine get lost in the post?
Yeah, no, I didn't get one either, dude. I would have. Would you guys go? I would go. Fuck it, just to see.
I'd go through the free meal.
I think when James Fox went with prior to this, I think they set him up with like basically bodyguards the entire time that were like basically just watching everything he did. It was like, oh, we'll walk you around, but it's like really like, no, we're watching everything you're doing.
Watching over, yeah.
How are you on with Skyfire News at the moment? Are you guys finding it difficult? Obviously, other than the Lou thing, but to get any UFO news out there at the moment, because it seems a little bit
Quiet.
Kind of quiet, but also like I don't know. It seems like there's always like a sighting going on. There's always like an askable statement or something like that. Yeah.
Well, thank God for him, dude. He's been really kind of pushing a lot of news, right?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, like this Lou Book stuff. And then there was the whole like death threat thing a few weeks ago, or was that a few months ago now, probably?
Yeah.
There's been a steady flow of stuff, I think. Arrow.
It's like little it's like separate narratives, smaller narratives that just continue to get like incrementally updated as time goes on, right? You don't have like this big rush testimony anymore, anything like that. It's all that it is. Small narratives.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, and I just think about compared to the 60s and stuff, even though it feels slow now, but like even this year, like I feel like a lot's happened, you know, especially post 2017, like so much stuff has happened. So I don't know.
What did you feel with the Roswell thing in the book? With Hal talking about Roswell?
That was interesting. Like, where's Hal getting this from? You know what I mean? That's kind of a
Hal was
hopefully
there.
There's more. Yeah. Hopefully there's more in the book that kind of goes into where this comes from. But if that's like that's a little weird. I would like more.
There was a document that Greenwald did a video on a couple of years ago that was the Hal, I guess, hinted at in like a 2018 interview on Coast to Coast. And it kind of just alluded that this might have been the document talking about particular crash retrievals where he could have got the information from. Because I guess where that original document was posted at was a website that he had supported in some ways with some information in the past. But I couldn't get the damn document, dude. I kept trying to get it for today, but I couldn't find it. But it had something about Umbra on it. Does that ring a bell? Do you read it all?
Umbra. No. Yeah. Interesting. But Hal, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Hal knows more just because, you know, you ever hear those stories of like they're trying to get like twins to pilot the craft or whatever because there's like some weird psychic component to it. They're bringing in all these. And then even with the Kona Blue, the UFO remote viewing overlap.
Who's Hal?
Hal Puthoff.
Yeah, Hal Puthoff, who allegedly ran the Stargate remote viewing program, former Scientologist, disclosure activist, I would say. He's kind of
where hasn't he been, dude?
You know? Yeah.
Which one's him?
Oh, nice.
All the way on the second to the right.
The one with the glasses.
With the red tie.
Yeah, glasses and red tie.
Red tie on the right.
Okay.
That was fast. That was good.
So what's his story? He's like runs a company that does shady stuff.
No, he seems like a true believer. I haven't seen him really engaging in any weirdo like harassment tactics like Lou I've seen, but yeah, I don't know. One thing interesting about him, and this is in those Jacques Vallée books, and I recommend everyone read those. He put out I think 4 or 5 so far, and it's just like each decade his notes from the time. He said that this guy named Sidney Gottlieb, he was like a MK Ultra psychedelic kind of like nefarious CIA guy. You ever heard of him? I would look him up too. No. But basically, he said that guy, Sidney Gottlieb, who was high up in the CIA, was Hal Puthoff's UFO contact and handler, I think was even the word used. And I've never heard of that guy, Sidney Gottlieb, in a UFO context. I even looked it up after, like on like DuckDuckGo and all these places, 4chan. I couldn't find any kind of correlation. So that was interesting. I don't know, man.
He was part of the aviary. He was Owl in the aviary.
Yeah.
You're losing me, man. An owl in the aviary.
We're deep. That's how deep we are.
I would like to get Shane and Hidden in the same room. I think that would be brilliant. You've not met Shane, UFO Shane, have you, Hidden?
No.
No, he's been on the channel. He's been on the channel.
What's he like? Is he a stoner?
No, he's not a stoner. He's Shane a stoner?
No, but I think he's about to be a stoner again because I think he's like on some kind of parole thing.
Okay.
And he was saying how like he's going to stop drinking. He's going to start only blazing now.
Yeah.
How is Shane? Is he good?
I think he's been good. He's chilling. I see him in spaces. He's debunking and stuff, you know.
I don't remember much.
He was kicked out of his own space.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Well, guys, we said that we was only going to go for an hour and a half tonight. We've gone over the hour now. We are trying to keep them a little bit shorter these days. But so Hidden, starting with yourself, my good friend, where can they find you? What you got coming up? The links are in the description as well.
All I can say, man, is just stay away from me, please. Don't subscribe. Run. Don't watch videos. You know, you can't find me.
He doesn't sell himself. I'll sell you, Hidden. Hidden's been on all the UK media with your UFOs
featured on Joe Rogan.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like some of your UFOs stuff has gone all over the world. You've got Chinese news channels putting your stuff out there. Hidden Underbelly.
That's it. So run. He's part of the mechanism.
Have you been doing this like as long as like Secure Team 10 and Third Phase of Moon?
No, not as long. I think I'm at the 8-year mark.
8 years. That's 8 years of UFO content.
Wow.
No, but it's an awesome channel, mate. Awesome channel.
Yeah, it takes it out of you. Hidden's only 26.
We have fun. Yeah.
As soon as the UFO, I'll sell it for you, Hidden. As soon as the UFO hits, Hidden reports on it.
Nice. Yeah, I've already subscribed to you. Nice. Heck yeah.
It's just about having fun, man. I'm not, it's just about having fun. We gotta have fun. You guys, you take this stuff seriously. It's all entertainment, baby.
It's nice. Just Lee's the serious ufologist here.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
It's just, I just wanted to say something about this. Get back to Lee. Now get back to all of you guys, but Lee, you said something about God. Lou, the psyops.
I think so. I think it's a psyop.
To what manner of the psyops?
I don't know. I don't know what for. But I think there is some reason, that the United States government, in particular the United States government, for some reason want my friends and family members that didn't give a fuck about conspiracies or UFOs yesterday. They want them to believe in UFOs tomorrow. I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is, but they've spent decades not wanting people to believe in UFOs, and now they're trying their very best to make people believe in them.
Well, isn't that what to say, like, because it's interesting, because if, let's say, like, I believe now something was mentioned about interdimensional when you was having that conversation. Maybe, yeah. What if they understand part of something that beings need to come? You get what I'm trying to say? So
yeah,
if we're having a debate and controlling the subject, controlling the narrative, which we can all agree, I think that's what's going on. I'm not in a goldfish bowl. I'm looking in on it, and what I see is that they're trying to control the narrative, and they're trying to get you, like you're saying, fighting amongst each other, even like on their stage, on their level, they're fighting amongst each other, ain't they?
Oh yeah, I heard there's some pretty big fucking civil wars going on back.
But also
the upstairs people.
Also, the people that stood for information, they starting to fight against each other. So it's all bullshit, man.
I think the top and bottom of it is, for me, when it comes to government involvement, I don't believe that JFK was shot by a lone gunman. I don't
Killer
believe
shot.
that. I don't believe that the 9/11 was concocted from a cave somewhere, what you would think of as a primitive people. I didn't take
With a man with
crazy
dialysis.
No. I didn't take the crazy vaccine. And if you're gonna tell me that that these things are now UFOs and aliens, and that's what you want me to believe, I'm not gonna believe that either. And that's where I stand with this now. The minute the government tell me that this is what it is, I know that's not what's going down.
And that's when we get cancelled.
And it's been fun being on YouTube with you guys.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks. I've been wanting to go Rumble
Fun
for
times.
a while.
Allegedly. Everything was allegedly.
And Matthew, Terrestrial, what's
Yeah.
going on? You did a show today?
I sure did. Yeah. Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern. I go over just the news from the week, big stories that are coming up. I just did a big little hour-and-a-half deal going over the leaks that came out from Elizondo's book. So you can kind of get my takes on there. I pull up some old clips from the past that kind of link in to some of the pages. So it's pretty interesting. It's on YouTube here, Terrestrial Material. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Terrestrial MAT. Yep.
Awesome, mate.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that. Red, we've got Skyfire linked in the description below, but also you've got a channel.
Yes,
And you
Red
got-
Panda Claw, and I'm editing my Spielberg one that's taking forever, and I'm gonna try and get a Lou one out probably. But yeah, Red
did you
Panda
say
Koala,
Spielberg?
Skyfire News. Yeah, I'm working on a Spielberg and Close Encounters of the Third Kind little video. It's like an hour and a half,
Oh, brilliant.
a bunch of cuts and whatnot. But yeah, and I got
out?
here a little late, but yeah, I'll just say that Olympics thing was sus.
Yes, I know. We've been through that, unfortunately, before you turn up. But it messed it up for us because I was planning on watching the whole ceremony. I go and skipping through it so we could discuss it, and then the mother's fuckers went and took it off the internet.
Dude, that's crazy. That honestly feels like past 2 weeks since the whole Trump assassination attempt. There's like two groups of like time travelers just like duking it out.
Yeah,
Weird.
Well,
esoteric thing.
I still stand by the thing that everything felt reasonably normal up until like COVID and lockdowns and stuff. And ever since that happened, it's like we've been living in a fucking sci-fi movie.
It's CERN.
It might be. It might be.
Well, you know they
Also,
don't. There's not just one CERN. There's quite a few of these.
Oh yeah.
Particular things all over the world. So, harness energy.
Matt,
Sorry, shut up.
Matt said last night about the like the second Roswell crash. I know we're desperately trying to end this podcast, and I've kind of fucked it up. But the second Roswell crash for me is a Mandela effect because that just exploded out of you know like the second crash, right?
Yeah.
What second
Like,
crash?
I've been interested in Roswell like since I could fucking read.
What's happened real quick?
A month ago. But like all of a sudden, like that whole like the second crash site at Roswell sort of popped up. I was like, where the fuck's that come from? That's a Mandela effect to me because I do not remember that being anywhere near the narrator for years.
Where's this come from? I've never heard of that.
That's what I heard. And it's been a while since I've heard that.
We'll probably do another show on that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. I've heard that like a big theory out there is that two saucers had crashed into each other, so therefore two debris fields. But they're really far apart. I can't remember how far, but they're far. But Elizondo's like, no, it's one split into two. So interesting.
We briefly went through that last night from the leak from Lou's book, like that Hal said that there was a saucer split into two. One end went somewhere, one end went somewhere else. But the other stuff that's out there on the internet is that there is actually two crash saucers. Whether they were fighting, who knows? But anyway, folks, make sure you check out all these guys in the description below and go ahead and head on over and give them some love. If you've got any news, if I don't know if you found an alien in your back garden or anything like that, email us and don't try and hack us email again, you bastards.
Yeah, please don't. That was a fucking nightmare.
It was a nightmare. We don't have anything, we haven't got disclosure in our email section.
No, even bank accounts. Like, you fucking hack our bank accounts, you owe more money than you went in with.
This is true. You're welcome to my bank account. But yeah, make sure you check all the links below. Make sure you go check out our podcast, Alien Addict. It's on everything, Apple, Spotify, you name it, it's there. And to everybody,
apart from Amazon podcast won't upset the won't fucking update the RSS feeds, and I hate them for it.
And Rumble, we see you in the chat on Rumble.
Don't forget the t-shirts.
Don't forget the t-shirts. Yeah, Rumble. We do t-shirts. I don't know if the links for the t-shirts are in the Rumble feed. I think they're just on the YouTube feed. But yeah, we've got plenty of t-shirts. Go get them. We launch t-shirts every 3 months. Then we take them down and we refresh them.
Yeah, nice.
That one's here to stay. Good night. God bless, people.
Hell yeah.
Mind
Nice seeing y'all. Catch you later. Bye,
Yeah,
guys.
I guess we do.
Cheers for coming, buddy.
See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Salute.
Grapefruits.
Get a t-shirt.